Good morning, students. So this is class 11th physics, chapter number 5 and lecture number 2. In this lecture, we'll be studying about how to form equation of motion for various things. Okay. So let us start with the motion of a pulley. Okay, so first of all, let me tell you what is a pulley and what systems are there in that. Okay, so this circle that you can see is a pulley on which a string is going on, and from the end of these strings masses are connected. So this forms a pulley. Okay, so now we are taking this pulley to be massless and frictionless. Okay, and this string is inextensible string, that is, it is not stretching. Okay, so this pulley is massless and frictionless and the string is inextensible, and we are considering that the mass m2 is greater than m1. Okay, so we have these three things, and one more thing, this pulley is fixed at this point, that is, this pulley cannot move, only these masses can move. Okay, so now see, because this is the heavier mass, so it must be going downward with acceleration a. And see, if it is going with acceleration a downward, so this mass will be going upward with acceleration a, because they are connected by the same inextensible string. So if this is going downward, this would be going upward. Okay, now you know the weight of both the masses will act in downward direction. So here we can say m2g will be acting in downward direction, and for this m1g will be acting in downward direction. Okay, now see, on this block, this is m2g, so that means this weight is nothing but the action. So therefore this wire or this string will apply some reaction force. That reaction force is denoted by T, which is called tension. So if you are given any rope, any wire or any string, in those the reaction forces that comes to play is called tension. So this is your tension. So these are nothing but action reaction forces. Okay, similarly here, because downward we have weight which acts as tension, so therefore on this there will be a reaction by this string in upward direction, which is tension. Again, because we are taking everything to be this pulley to be massless, frictionless, string to be inextensible, so tension will remain same because this string is a single string only which is passing over the pulley. Okay, so now let us form the equation of motion for both the masses. So let us do it for mass m1. Again, as I have told you, the direction of motion is always taken as positive. So here m2g will be positive and t will be negative. Okay, so let us make it for mass m1 first. Okay, so now m1 is going upward, that means t will be positive. So the equation will be t minus m1g is equals to m1a. So t minus m1g is equals to m1a will be the equation for mass m1. Similarly for mass m2, m2g minus t is equals to m2a. Now from these two equations, we'll be calculating what is the value of acceleration and what is the value of the tension in the string. Okay, so I hope both the equations are clear to you from this pulley. Okay, now let us add these two equations, first and second. So when you will add these two, it will become t minus m1g plus m2g minus t is equals to m1a plus m2a. Okay, so tension will cancel out from here. So you will be left with m2g minus m1g. This term is equals to, I am taking a common, so that will be m1 plus m2. So from here you can easily calculate the value of acceleration. That will come to be m2 minus m1g upon m1 plus m2. So this is the value of common acceleration with which your the masses will be moving. Okay, now you have the value of acceleration. We want to calculate tension also. So in any of those equations, first and second equation, you can put the value of acceleration and you can calculate tension from there. So I am putting the value of acceleration in first equation, which is t minus m1g is equals to m1a. So this is the value of a. So I have just put the value of a. Now to get tension, I am taking it to right hand side. So it will become t is equals to m1g plus, just multiply this, so it will be m1 m2g minus m1 square g upon m1 plus m2. Okay, now take the LCM for this. When you will take the LCM, it will give you this thing. Okay, so the common terms will cancel out, m1 square g minus m1 square g. So this will cancel out. You will be left with 2m1 m2g upon m1 plus m2. So this is the tension and this is the acceleration. And remember, we have considered m2 to be greater than m1. So in this case also acceleration will come to be positive, and this is your tension 2m1 m2g upon m1 plus m2. So if in any question you are given the value of masses m1 and m2, you can easily calculate the value of tension and acceleration for that particular pulley. Okay. Okay, so let us take one more case of pulley. Now this is the pulley which is fixed at this point. To this string is going on, and now two masses are connected like this. So this is kept on a table. Okay, so this mass and this mass are connected to two ends of the string. Okay, now again let us resolve all the forces. As you can see on this, m1g will be acting downward. Now clearly see, this is your y direction and this is your x direction. So first thing is this, we can equate the forces only in particular directions. That is, if you are equating the forces in y direction, you will only take the forces which are acting in y direction. And if you are resolving forces in x direction, you will take only the forces which are in x direction. So as you can see, this m1g is now in y direction. And now can you tell what will be the normal reaction on this block and who will apply that? So because this block is kept on the table, now weight is acting on the table, so therefore the reaction force will be applied by table in upward direction. So this R is due to this table on this block. Okay, now come to this block. Again its mass will be acting downward, m2g, but now this force is applied on the string, so the tension will be applied upwards. That is a reaction force. Okay, now again see, if I am saying this block is moving downward with acceleration a, so if it is moving downward, that means this will also move. Okay, so if it is moving with downward, this will also move, and this will move again due to this tension force. Okay, so remember this. So because this block, due to this block, this string is stretched in this particular direction, so therefore a tension force will act on it in right side. So this will move downward with acceleration a, and this will move forward in acceleration a due to this tension. Okay, so now again if you resolve the if you make the equations, so for this, as I told you, only y direction forces will be taken. If I am writing the equation in y direction, so R will be equal to m1g in y direction. Okay, now if you are forming the equation in x direction, it is moving in this direction, so the force in this direction will be taken as positive. So tension T will be equal to m1a. So T will be equal to m1a. Now for this, it is moving in downward direction, so this will be positive. So the equation will be m2g minus T is equals to m2a. Okay, now from here, as you know, T is m1a. So if I put the value of T, it will become m2g minus m1a is equals to m2a. Or from here, you can calculate acceleration to be m2g upon m1 plus m2. Okay, so again, if I want to calculate acceleration and tension, this is the value of acceleration. So now you put the value of acceleration here and you will get the value of tension also. Okay, so now let us look at this. So this is the block which is kept on an inclined plane at an angle theta. So this is your inclined plane at an angle theta, and this box is kept on it, and you have to tell what will be the normal reaction on the block. So now again we'll see the forces. See, on this block, the mass acts in the the weight will act in downward direction. So this will be the m1g. Now the common mistake that students do is they always take m1g in this direction. But remember, m1g is the mass which will act in exactly downward direction. So if you see this block, this is the downward direction, right? So the mass will be acting exactly in downward direction, not like this. Okay. Now there will be some normal reaction, but now this normal reaction will be due to this plane, right? And as you know, the reaction, and one more thing, the reaction will always be normal to the surface. Therefore, we are calling it normal reaction. So if this is a plane and this is the block, you have to draw a perpendicular to this surface. So perpendicular to this surface will be this, right? So this reaction will be, you can say, at 90 degrees at this surface. So this will be the reaction. Okay, so this will be the weight in downward direction and this will be the reaction in upward direction, perpendicular to the surface, therefore we can call it normal reaction also. Okay, now look carefully. If see this, if this is theta, this will be 90. So this will be 90 minus theta. And as you can see, this total angle is 90 because I have drawn just two perpendicular directions like this. So this is theta, this is 90, this is 90 minus theta, and again this is 90. So we will be left with theta here again. So now I have just drawn two lines like this and this. So now if I resolve this m1g, as you know, the direction with theta is for cos theta. So this will be m1g cos theta, and this will be mg sin theta. You can take it m or m1. So I am taking it m1. So let me take m1 here. Okay. So this will be m1g cos theta, and this will be m1g sin theta. Okay. Now you can tell what will be the reaction. So now as you can see, this normal reaction and m1g cos theta are equal and opposite in direction. So R will come to be m1g cos theta. So this is the normal reaction in this case if the block is kept on an inclined plane. If suppose this was a table which is exactly straight, then R will come to be m1g only, as we have studied earlier. Okay. Now what is the role of this m1g sin theta? See, this reaction force and this is balanced, but this force is not balanced by anything because we are again considering this inclined plane to be frictionless. In further cases, we'll be taking this plane to be with friction also, but here it is frictionless. So what will be the role of this m1g sin theta? Due to this force, this block will move in downward direction. So that is why when you keep any block on an inclined plane or a slope which is going downward, it slides towards downward direction due to this force. So due to mg sin theta, it will move in downward direction, or you can say m1g sin theta only. Okay, so this is the case. Now let us take inclined plane and a pulley also. Okay, so now these are two inclined planes at an angle of theta 1 and theta 2, and a pulley is kept like this on this inclined plane, and from the two strings of this pulley, two masses are connected, that is m1 and m2. Okay. Now again let us see all the forces. See, this is one inclined plane only. So again, as we did earlier, this will be the mass m1g in exactly downward direction, and this will be the reaction force normal to this surface. So normal to this surface is this line. So this will be the r1. Okay, again if I am resolving this m1g, this will come to be theta only, as we have did earlier. So this will be m1g cos theta 1, and this will be m1g sin theta 1 because we are considering it to be theta 1. Okay, now again this will be m1g sin theta 1, but now this is a string. Now you know in string some reaction force will come, that will be equal to tension. Similarly here m2g will act in downward direction. Again resolving m2g, it will be m2g cos theta 2 and it will be m2g sin theta 2. R2 will be exactly normal to the surface and there will be a tension in the string. Okay, now you can easily form the equation. Okay, so now let us form it for this one. For this, R1 will be equal to m1g cos theta 1, and for this R2 will be equal to m2g cos theta 2. Okay, so now see, again we have taken this direction, so we are not talking about these forces. We are taking this direction, so we have taken forces in this direction only. Okay, now for this, tension will be equal to m2g sin theta 1. And one more thing, I am taking this system to be in equilibrium. That means there will be no acceleration because the system is not moving. So if it is not moving, there will be no acceleration. So just you can write down tension will be equal to m1g sin theta 1. So tension will be equal to m1g sin theta 1. And here also tension will be equal to m2g sin theta 2. And T is same. So therefore you can say T will be equal to m1g sin theta 1. That will be equal to m2g sin theta 2. So these are the equations if the system is in equilibrium. Okay, so now again look at this case. Now in this case, there are three masses m1, m2, m3. And let us suppose this whole system is moving in upward direction with acceleration a. Okay, so now as you can see, these are three different strings which are connected between the masses. So let us suppose at this mass tension is T3, for this mass tension is T2, and for this mass tension is T1. Okay, or you can say in the particular strings the tensions are T1, T2 and T3 in upward direction. Also you know the masses will be acting downward, so this is M3G, M2G and M1G. Okay, now how we will form the equations. See, let us talk about this mass first. As because it is going in upward direction, so T1 will be positive, so T1 minus, see all these forces M1G, M2G and M3G are acting in downward direction, and due to all these three forces the mass M1 will be pulled downward, because as you can see M2 and M3 are connected to M1 only. So if you are pulling M3, M1 will automatically be pulled. So therefore while writing equation for this one we have to take or consider all the three forces. So T1 minus M1G minus M2G minus M3G will be equal to again M1 plus M2 plus M3 into A. Okay, so remember this because this mass is pulled by all of these three forces. So while writing equation for mass M1, we have to take all the three masses into consideration. So this is your first equation. Now second equation for M2. Now M2 is pulled by the force of M3 also. So for this case we will be taking M2 and M3. So T2 minus M2G minus M3G, I have taken just common that G, okay, is equals to M2 plus M3 into A. Now for third one, it is only pulled by its weight only. So therefore T3 minus M3G is equals to M3A. So remember this, if the blocks are connected to each other, then the upward block will be pulled due to the all the blocks that are down to it. Okay, so this will be for this equation we have taken therefore all the three masses. Okay, so now according to the question, if the M1, M2 and M3 are given to you, you can easily calculate T1, T2 and T3 in the different strings. Okay, so there was one case which I gave you in homework, that if what will happen if the lift is falling in free fall. Now if you make the equation, see, because it is going in downward direction, again downward direction will be positive, so mg minus r will come to be equal to mg, or you can say r will come to be mg minus mg, therefore r will come to be 0. That means in this particular case the apparent weight of the body will become 0, or you can say the body becomes weightless in free fall. Okay students, now I'll discuss the homework solution of lecture number 4 of chapter number 5. Okay, so the first question says, give the magnitude and direction of the net force acting on a drop of rain falling down with a constant speed. Okay, so the raindrop is falling down with a constant speed and it is falling in downward direction. Obviously that means speed is constant and direction is also same, so you can say velocity will remain constant. So if velocity of anything is constant, then as you know, acceleration is defined as change in velocity, so acceleration will also be 0. Okay, so if constant speed is there and velocity is also constant, then acceleration is 0. And now you know force is defined as ma, so if acceleration of the drop is 0, so the force will also come to be 0. Okay, B part says a cork of mass 10 gram floating on water. Now see, it is floating on water, that means it is balanced there. So as you know, anything is balanced or anything is in equilibrium only when net force on that object is 0. This you have studied in your lecture. So balanced means in equilibrium only. Okay, so therefore the force will be 0 on the cork also. So answer of B part will also be 0. C part says a kite flying and held stationary in the sky. Again, if the kite is held stationary, that means net force on the kite is 0. So again the net force will come to be 0. Okay, next part says a car moving with a constant velocity of 30 km per hour on a rough road. Again, if the constant velocity is there, that means acceleration is 0. If acceleration is 0, F is ma, again F will be 0. Next question says a high-speed electron in space far from all gravitational objects and free of electric and magnetic fields. See, if any object is free from electric and magnetic fields, that means net force on the electron will come to be 0 only, because neither field is acting on it, so it will remain in rest. or in its motion only, so force will be 0. Okay, now the next question. Second question says a pebble of mass 0.05 kilogram is thrown vertically upwards. Give the direction and magnitude of net force on the pebble during its upward motion and during its downward motion. See, now if this is a pebble and if it is thrown in upward direction, so as you know, if something is going freely in upward direction, that means the acceleration acting on it is only due to acceleration of gravity. So the acceleration acting on the pebble is acceleration due to gravity. So A is g, and therefore the force acting on it will be mg, always in downward direction. Either the pebble goes in upward direction or the pebble goes in downward direction. The force mg will act on it in downward direction. So for both the parts, F is equals to mg will be the answer, and it will be acting in downward direction. Okay, so the next part of the question says, do your answer change if the pebble was thrown at an angle of 45 degree with the horizontal direction? See, if it is thrown by making an angle of 45 degree in horizontal direction, then we will have two components of the velocity. One will be in horizontal direction and what will be in vertical direction. This you have done in your angular projection also. But there will be no effect on force because force is acting due to acceleration due to gravity. So force will remain same mg. So it will also remain same. Okay. So answer of C part will be there will be no change. The force will remain same. Okay, so the third question says give the magnitude and direction of the net force acting on a stone of mass 0.1 kilogram just after it is dropped from the window of a stationary train. See, if the train is stationary and the stone is thrown outwards, now it will fall in freely. So can you tell what will be the acceleration of it? That will be acceleration due to gravity. So the force acting on it will be mg. Okay, second is just after it is dropped from the window of a train running at constant velocity of 36 km per hour. If the train is running at constant velocity, that means its acceleration is 0. And again, when it is just thrown outwards, again it will be falling under the acceleration due to gravity. So again, force will be mg. C part says just after it is dropped from the window of a train accelerating with 1 meter per second square. See, now this acceleration is for train. But when you will again throw the stone outwards, there will be no effect of train. Either it is moving, either it is stationary, or either it is moving with a constant acceleration, because on the stone only acceleration due to gravity will act. So again in this case the force will come to be mg. D part says if the stone is lying on the floor of the train which is accelerating with 1 meter per second square, the stone being at relative rest to the train. So now in this case the stone is lying on the floor of the train. That means the acceleration of the train will now be the acceleration of stone also. Okay, now and the acceleration of train is given to be 1 meter per second square. So acceleration of stone will also be 1 meter per second square. So you can say in this case F will be equal to ma. A is given to be 1 meter, so F will come to be m. And m is given to be 0.1, so force will be 0.1 Newton in this case. Okay, so also although the answers will come to be 0.1 Newton in all the cases, but for D part the reason is different. Okay. Okay, so fifth and sixth questions are easy questions and I hope you will be doing them. Only you have to use equation of motion in them. Okay, so the seventh question says a body of mass 5 kg is acted upon by two perpendicular forces 8 Newton and 6 Newton. So I have considered this body of 5 kg and there are two perpendicular forces acting on it. So I have taken one force in x direction and one force in y direction. So now they are perpendicular to each other. So I am taking F1 to be 8 Newton and F2 to be 6 Newton. You can take any one to be any one. I am taking these values. Okay. Now you have to tell the magnitude and direction of the acceleration of the body. See, now you know F is equals to ma. So to calculate acceleration, you need mass and force on the body. Mass is given in the question already. So we have to first of all calculate net force to get the acceleration. So now net force will be the resultant force of these two. Now you know how to calculate resultant. See, let us suppose this is the resultant force F Okay, so now the formula is under root of a square plus b square plus 2ab into cos of angle between f1 and f2. So F net force will be under root of f1 square plus f2 square plus 2f1 f2 cos 90, because angle between f1 and f2 is 90 degree. Because cos 90 is 0, so this term will become 0. So you will be left with only under root of f1 square plus under root of f2 square. See, f1 square will be 64 and f2 square will be 36. So 36 plus 64 will give you 100. So under root of 100 will give you 10 newtons. That means net force acting on this block is 10 newton. Now you know mass of the block to be 5 kilograms. So acceleration will be nothing but F by m, that is 10 by 5. So the answer will come to be 2 meter per second square. Okay. Also question number 8 was given to you in your homework. That is also very easy question. You have to just use formula MA and you will get the answer. Okay, so after going to today's lecture, you can do question number 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 16 from chapter number 5 of your NCERT book. Thank you.